Welcome to Inside Clips for Tuesday, September 15th, presented by Royal Purple. I'm Laurette Nickel. Well folks, we've been off for the past couple of weeks as the series finally hit the road and knocked out rounds 1 and 2 of the Pro Championship and round 1 of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship. To say it was a great weekend would be a big understatement. With the world focused on all things COVID, 60 of the drivers in both the Pro and Pro 2 championships headed to the Midwest to compete at the Worldwide Technology Raceway, just outside of St. Louis. There would be 3 days of competition where we saw Pro 2 on Friday and 2 rounds of Pro on Saturday and Sunday. No one could really predict how it would all go down given that there was a long break, no qualifying, and unanswered questions as to how the drivers have adapted in the off-season. Starting with Pro 2, I must say that so far this is the most competitive group of drivers we've seen thus far in Pro 2. And if you don't know who to root for this year, there are a lot of amazing drivers, both that have returned to the series and newcomers, like Brian Wadman, Austin Mata, and Josh Love. Jonathan Hurst and Dimitri Bruski came in with strong performances, with both Jared DeAnda and Ryan Sage saying this looked like the Pro Series. In the end, it was newcomer Joshua Love who showed the greatest resilience and consistency by finding ways to win tough battles. We got a chance to talk to Josh at the end of the event.
Thank you to everybody that came out. Big thanks to my team. Like, we've been working like crazy all weekend. First time out here, first time at FD. It's a dream come true. I had no idea that we were gonna do this. 1 more times, so many runs. I'd love to thank all the sponsors. After Hours Motorsports put together the best car ever. Reagan designed it, Reagan Stein Designs, Big Duck Club, Vortex Superchargers. I mean, there's so many lists. So many awesome people that helped along this way. Big shout out to Rome Charpentier for helping us with the setup. That went a really long way, getting some help from pros. So awesome, amazing weekend, amazing weekend.
In the Pro Series on Saturday, it was a thing of beauty as the brand new undamaged cars were sent out to battle to find out who would be leading the series after round 1. Alec Robbins was a superstar, showing us his jump from Pro to Pro 2 was well worth it. He charged all weekend, but was eventually beat by Dan Burkett in the top 16. Vaughn Gittin Jr. saw action against Frederick Osbo in the top 16, with the Supra looking nasty and getting the win. Adam LZ had a tough draw in the top 32 with 3-time champ Chris Forsberg, who was on a tear in his 370Z. The Force would take out LZ and then do battle with rival Michael Essa, eventually making it all the way to the Final 4 where he faced Osbo. More on that later. On the other side of the bracket, Odi Bakchis looked stellar in his new S15, showing purely masterful chase runs and getting himself to the Final 4. Ryan Turk was a massive standout in his bracket, dueling Chelsea Denofa to a 1 more time. Then beating a very strong Dylan Hughes in the Grade 8, and finally beating Odi Bakchis to head to the finals against none other than teammate Frederick Osbo. After the dust had settled, we would find Chris Forsberg, who lost to Osbo in the Final 4, and Odi Bakchis battling for 3rd, but damage to his intercooler piping saw number 64 exit the stage earlier than he would have liked. Odi takes 3rd place. In the finals, it was the Osbo show, as Turk put up a good showing, but Osbo really took control and edged out his new teammate. The Supra and Osbo made a statement on day 1. On day 2, things were similar in many ways. Some of the familiar faces would go out early, like Osbo, who was bested by Matt Field. Osbo was caught impeding the initiation of Field and lost in the top 16. Chris Forsberg may have had the battle of the weekend with Chelsea Denofa, but Denofa switched up his driving from day 1 to day 2 and beat Forsberg. Ken Gucci, even with a very hurt back, charged all the way to the Grade 8, along with Matt Field and Chelsea Denofa, who bettered their results from Saturday. Ryan Turk and Odi once again saw an opportunity to open up the championship by making it to the Final 4. But at the end of the day, it was Denofa and Odi in the finals and Turk and Field in the 3rd place battle. In the 3rd place battle, it would be Turk taking the win over Matt Field and cementing his place in the top spots, taking 2nd overall when the weekend was all said and done. In the finals, it was hard to imagine that Denofa was going to get beat, But if it was going to happen, Odie was going to pull it off. At the end of the day, Denofa just had a bit more in his Mustang and was able to secure the win and a bruised heel as he lurched to the bottom of the fencing and jumped off in front of the screaming fans, and most likely suffered a right heel hairline fracture and a left heel bruising. But he said he's improving and the injury won't impede his driving at rounds 3 and 4. At the end of rounds 1 and 2, the championship looks like this. Number 1 goes to Odie Bakchis, Ryan Turk, Chelsea Denofa, Frederick Osbo, and Matt Field. So in this new system, there are bound to be more ties because of no qualifying. So ties are broken as they've always been by the latest, most recent result. And also, the Denofas are safe from the fires, but he did tell me that his track and 15 cars were in danger at one point when the fires were 10 miles away. But the community really stepped up and offered to help evacuate and store vehicles if necessary. We are sending everyone up there our absolute best wishes. We love you guys. Okay, now let's talk Evergreen Speedway. First, here are the 2 brackets for the weekend. They can also be found on the Formula Drift website and on social if you want a printable copy. Secondly, here are some words from co-founder Ryan Sage on what fans can expect from the event in less than 2 weeks.
All right, well, thanks, Laurette. Good morning, Drift fans. Appreciate you guys checking in here as we drop a little bit more information on Inside Clips. In just less than 2 weeks, we have rounds number 3 and 4 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship and round 2 of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship headed to Evergreen Speedway in Washington. Now, for those of you that have purchased tickets, you've probably seen some information and emails from us letting you know that as of today, the state and local governments have not approved the event to be attended by fans. So that means this Friday, September 18th, we will begin the refunding process for anybody that has purchased tickets, and there will not be an opportunity to buy tickets at the box office since it will be closed to the public. So that's the bad news out of the way. But the good news is that in my hands here, I have a copy of the track map that we are going to be using for all 3 rounds of the event that weekend. You'll notice that the track is pretty similar to how it has been in the past, except for one minor change that I think everybody will find very satisfying, and that is this last little section here. Instead of an inside clip finishing up the final turn, it's going to be going back to the wall for an outside zone. So we heard from Judge Ryan Lantine, who sent me this copy, that this is the track map that they would like to go with. We think this will bring some added excitement and some cool new features to the track that's pretty much been the same for a number of years. Outside of that, in the link in the description down below, but also available on our website, I will put copies of both the Pro Top 32 bracket that was seeded by the winners at the end of last round, and also the Pro 2 bracket as well. There's some really interesting battles there, some unique buy runs, and this new seeding system is proving to be really interesting because it's giving us matchups that we may not normally expect to have in a traditional qualifying setup. So we're looking forward to being at the event. We're looking forward to heading up to Evergreen Speedway. Obviously, this is going to be a broadcast-only event, which means that you'll be able to catch us Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the times posted on our website. If you need more information on that, about when broadcast times are, you can find that on the event details page of the website. And of course, obviously, we have all of this posted on social media. Further, if you follow us on Facebook and you have notifications turned on, or you follow us on YouTube and you have notifications turned on, you will see exactly when we post a live stream times. But in general, everything is going to be pretty much the same this year. We kick off around 11:15 to 11:30 for live streams on all 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So be safe out there. We'll see you guys online, and hopefully we'll have a good weekend as we finish up round 2 of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship and rounds 3 and 4 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship.
Thanks, Ryan. All right, that's it for this week on Inside Clips. We'll be back with a new episode after Evergreen Speedway. See you in a couple of weeks. I'm Laurette Nickel.